Recently discussed why and how marriages fail, and that's because men are failing. They're failing to be husbands, they're failing to be dads, fathers, they're failing in their capacity to be the leaders of their home. And for two main reasons this failing is happening is because there's a lack of preparation and there's a lack of mindset. So I want to focus on the mindset today, because preparation that's a whole nother topic. But for mindset, the role of the husband is so important, it's so pivotal, it's so influential to his wife, his children, in the home. But here's the thing, it's such a huge role. It's such a unique role. But most men are failing at it. They're failing at it. They're running from it. They're not prepared for it, and they don't have the mindset for it. And I want to touch on, once again, the mindset aspect. Most men are not even thinking in terms of, I'm a husband, I'm a man, I'm a father. What does that look like? What do I need to be doing in this role, right? In this position? Because marriage is something that's God ordained. A husband is something that's God ordained, and a wife is something that's God ordained. So if you are a husband, or you desire to be a husband, you are in a role God created, God ordained, right? And you chose your wife, you chose your bride, you did all that. Great. God's not going to force you to do something you don't want to do. But because you are now a husband, you are now in a unique, special role, a pivotal role. And the mindset hasn't come along with that, with that role yet. And the preparation ain't there either. So why isn't that mindset there? If you look at the life of a man, the majority of men, right? If you look at their lives, starting from adolescence to the young adulthood, teenage years, even into actual manhood, adulthood, most men are not given the tools, the resources, and the knowledge, or even the inspiration to be fathers, husbands, and a man that can make a pivotal change and influence in the life of their own family. Their mother is not doing it. Their father is not doing it. A lot of times because the father is inactive, or the father himself is not even prepared or has the mindset. And that's another topic for another day. His community, his church. A lot of men, the majority of men, are not getting what they're needing to go ahead and lead their homes, from a spiritual aspect, a mental aspect, an emotional aspect. And what I mean by these, spiritually, you're not leading your home. You're a bystander. You're a bystander, or you're a receiver, right? Your wife is the one that, is doing anything spiritually in the home, taking y'all to church, getting y'all to pray, having any type of biblical conversations, Bible studies, or whatever. Your wife is doing that. What about emotionally? The home is not a healthy emotional environment because you're not leading emotionally. Maybe you're not a train wreck. Maybe you're not a train wreck emotionally, but you're not modeling what does healthy emotional attributes look like in your home, for your wife, for your son, for your daughters, right? You're that first role model. The mindset is not there because husbands have not received, they're not mentored, they're not prepared in any type of way to step into this God-ordained role that they're now in. And here's the other thing. A lot of men desire to be husbands. They desire it. And that's a beautiful thing. You should desire something that God created, God ordained for you, right? That's completely natural. Many men desire to be a husband, but not many men are prepared to be husbands. And that's the unfortunate truth. Many men are not prepared to be husbands, but many men desire to be husbands. We as mothers and fathers, communities, people in our community, in our church, are failing men by not equipping them with the knowledge, the resources, and the preparation they need to be good husbands, to be good fathers, to be good men. It's not happening. So what do you have? You have men stepping into these roles unequipped, ineffective. They can't influence or impact anything. Their children, their spouse, no one. Because they were never impacted or influenced in their own lives growing up. You can't give what you don't have. Someone has to teach you. Someone has to teach you. How do I be effective? But anyway, back to the mindset, right? Most men don't have this mindset to be effective, to be influential, to be impactful, to be a leader. Most men are not in the mindset of, I need to do that. This is something I should do. A lot of men, I want to be married. I want a wife. I want a family. Completely normal. That's fine. But the desire needs to match the preparation. The desire needs to match the mindset. At some point, you have to start identifying yourself and thinking of yourself as, I'm the leader. I'm the guy. I'm the person. I'm the role model. They're looking at me. They're watching me. I'm influencing them. I'm impacting them. What value? That's you. You're the person. You're the guy. You now stepped into a God-ordained role as a husband, and that comes with responsibility. You can't step into any role and not expect responsibility. Responsibility comes with any and all new roles. You're not going to go to a new role and do the same thing that you was doing previously. Something new is required of you. But we're not, as men, doing something new. We're not doing what we need to do to be successful in these new God-ordained roles that we're stepping into as fathers and husbands. Quite the opposite has actually happened in the lives of many men. Instead of being equipped, mentored, and inspired to be great men, great husbands, and great fathers, they have been torn down, beaten, and in some cases abused into the mindset you would never be a good man, you would never be a good husband, you would never be a good father, or you would never be a husband at all, or maybe you would never be a father at all. Some of these things are happening. It depends on the situation and the scenario. Everyone's life is different, but this is happening the majority of the time. Not only are men not being prepared, that the opposite is actually happening, where they are actually being torn down, and there's a negative effect happening. The opposite is now happening, where men are, they are being influenced into a negative capacity. You will never be the husband. You will never be the father. You will never be that man. The opposite is actually happening, unfortunately. So as that is starting to be shifted in their lives from a young age, because your mind, your brain develops, is more molded when you're younger, right? I mean, it still goes on until adulthood at a point, but the majority of your development, and how you perceive yourself, you think of yourself, happens when you're younger. So for men, they're getting so much negative influence or no influence, so that by the time they get into early adulthood, they have no mind to be a husband or the husband they should be, to be the father they should be, to be the man they should be. The mind isn't there, or the mind was crushed, broken, and scattered. So many men are not thinking in terms of, I'm a husband, I'm a leader, I'm a father, I'm the man. It's not happening. So say one of these men does get married. He got married, right? He's a married man without the preparation or the mindset to be great, to be inspired to be great, to be a great husband, father, or man, to be to have impact, to have influence, to have value. He's not equipped to do that. He's not going to be able to do that, unfortunately, because the mindset isn't there. He doesn't have a mind to pray. Let me lead my family in prayer. Let me take my children to church. Let me pray in the spirit with my family. Let me lead my family and show healthy emotional attributes for my family, for my son, for my daughter, for my wife. These thoughts are not happening because they don't have the knowledge, the resources, or the preparation. And most importantly, they don't have the mindset to go ahead and be like, I need to make sure I'm doing such things in my household so that I'm passing along, what I know, what I've learned, what I am to the next generation, or to your wife. As husbands, you're supposed to pour into your wife. Most husbands only receive. They only receive from their wife. But you're actually supposed to pour into her, build her up. And if you are not inspired, if you are not equipped, if you are not motivated or understanding or have the mindset, you will do nothing for your wife. I mean, you may bring home a paycheck, but when it comes to the grand scheme of things, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And it's hurting your children, it's hurting your sons, your daughters, and it's hurting your wife, and most importantly, it's hurting you, because you're not doing what you were called to do. As husbands, you have a great calling to make sure you're a great husband. You have a great calling to make sure you're a great father. You have a great calling to make sure you are a great man. You are not called to be average. You're called to be unique, impactful, have influence, add value. You're called to be great. Now, don't get this confused with like, oh, I got to be a pastor or I got to be a CEO. No, you may, but that's not for everyone. Whatever your calling is to be the leader of your home, as a husband, as a father. You're called to be the leader of your home. And you can do more, but that's what you need to get right now. Being the leader of your home. And you need to equip yourself with the mindset, I'm the leader and this needs to happen.